If it takes 6 weeks to close a client, let me tell you why you are in trouble. I've got a game changer for you today. And by the way, if you need help with this after listening, just email grow@b2bschool.co with the subject sales lag, and we'll pick up the conversation over there. But now back to the point. Now, do you ever wonder how long it should take to close a client? I'm talking about the time from a real meeting to a real yes. Now, if you're selling something north of $1,600, so big enough to matter, the average sales cycle is actually between 6 to 12 weeks in B2B. And here's the kicker. It usually takes about 3 to 6 meetings to actually get that yes. Now, let's say you do 4 meetings, and let's assume your time is worth $500 an hour, which it should be if you're a solid consultant, agency owner, or I don't know, service provider. That's $2,000 in your time alone just to land the deal. And that's before you get ghosted, before the back and forth, before the inevitable, I just need to think about it excuse that drags the process out for another 2 weeks. Now, you're not just losing time, you're burning money. And this isn't just an inconvenience, it's actually a scale killer. Because when you are stuck in such a long and drawn out sales cycle, it's not just about the time you're spending, it's about the opportunity cost and all the deals you could have closed if your process wasn't dragging out. Now, most people will tell you just to book more calls or follow up more often. I got to be honest, that's lazy advice. And if you want to kill sales lag, there are only 3 ways to do it. And if you get these right, you'll not only shorten the sales cycle, but you also increase your close rate, protect your time, and charge more without breaking a sweat. So let's talk about this. Number 1, restructure your offer. See, the first thing you need to do is restructure your offer. Most business owners make this mistake. They try and sell the whole cow when their prospect just wants a glass of milk. In other words, they make the buying decision too big for a first-time client. When your offer feels like a big commitment, it triggers hesitation. They start thinking about whether or not they need all of it, whether they can handle it right now, whether they need to think about it or check in with their team if they have capacity. So what do you got to do instead? Just sell the first step. Instead of offering, I don't know, a massive end-to-end solution right out of the gate, try and break it down, chunk it down into little bits. Identify the first most valuable step that gets a client a quick win and just sell that piece. Now, when you make the initial decision a bit smaller and a bit easier to digest, you remove friction from the process and you get to yes faster. And once they see the results, it's really easy to move into the next phase. It becomes a no-brainer. And by the way, don't worry about the leaving money on the table bit, because when clients get a win, they stick around for longer. So you're never leaving money on the table. Number 2, you want to automate the journey. The second way to kill sales lag is by automating the journey. Here's the thing. Most sales calls fail because prospects show up quite cold. They're curious, but then not really convinced. And so the entire call ends up being about educating and overcoming objections. But when you automate a bit of a journey before the call with the right pre-call sequence, you flip the dynamic in your favor. Imagine this. Before they ever get on the call with you, imagine if they already saw a breakdown of your process, heard success stories from people like them, had their top objections answered and removed. You can achieve this with just 3 simple emails. Email 1 sets the stage, introducing the big idea and reinforcing the pain points that you're looking to solve. Email 2 tackles the objections, answering the big what ifs and what's in it for them that might keep them from moving forward. And then email 3 showcases social proof, sharing case studies or testimonials that validate the value that you deliver. So by the time they actually get on the call, they're not just exploring options, they're actually evaluating a decision. And that's one key factor in going from 6 weeks to 6 days. Standardizing your sales call is the third and last. And that is because, unfortunately, most people approach sales, I don't know, like a casual conversation. Honestly, and you've probably been in this situation before where you've just been winging it. And then you wonder why the call goes nowhere. But when you sit down and actually take the time to build a structured framework, everything changes. A solid sales call should have 3 acts. Act number 1 is some form of diagnosis here. You're not pitching, you're diagnosing. You're asking the right questions to uncover pain, goals, their urgency. See, it's at this point where you want to try and gather the ammo you need to actually position your offer perfectly later. Act number 2 is demonstration. This is where you introduce some sort of framework or methodology. It's your IP. You're not just showing them a solution, you're showing them how to get to a certain result. And when they can visualize the process, when they can see it, they trust it more. And then Act 3 is a decision. Now it's about creating a clear yes. This is where you ask for the decision in a way that feels natural, not pushy. See, when you standardize the process, you remove variability, you eliminate objections before they arise, and you move clients toward a decision faster without having to chase, beg, or discount. And by the way, this isn't just theory because I want to tell you about David. So David is one of our clients and he messaged us recently and we just had a quick chat. It's him, my business partner, myself, and we tweaked his offer, actually raised his prices along the way, following these same principles. A few days later, he was on 2 sales calls and he closed both, but it wasn't just that he closed both, it was that he raised his prices by 275%. That's not a fluke, that's a fix. Now, we restructured his offer to make it easy to say yes today. We automated the journey so prospects showed up ready to decide, and we standardized the sales call so whether it was him or a team member, there was no guesswork involved. 2 calls, 2 yeses, and a price bump that completely changed his revenue trajectory. If he does more of those, think of the impact. So if you're selling something complex, B2B, high ticket services, anything that takes more than one convo to close, and you're already getting leads but deals are dragging out for weeks, I want you to follow those 3 principles. You don't often need more leads. You need a faster path to yes. You just want to try and kill that sales lag. That's what you've got to do. Now, if this resonated with you and you're thinking, yeah, I got to fix the sales lag in my business, we should talk. Right now, I'm working with a few business owners to implement this exact process. And if you want to see how it could apply to your business, just shoot an email to grow@b2bschool.co. I mentioned it at the front of this video with the subject sales lag, and we'll pick up the conversation over there. No hard pitch, no pressure. Let's see if it's the right fit for you so that we can together go and kill that sales lag.